write a little widget that will display randomly generated student pairs. So I'm going to set up first a graphical framework for myself. I have to figure out where is my core.jar. Probably in here. So let's find one. All right. So I'll paste it there. And then I'll add this library. Great. Okay, so now let's do settings, which is going to be the size of the window. And then setup, and these are all just required methods for p-applets. Okay, so I think ultimately what I want is a bunch of student pairs. Excuse me. I think I will have an array list of display boxes called students. And a display box will be a class where I've got XY coordinates of the upper left-hand corner. And I guess, should I have a width and a height? I guess I should have a width and a height. And then text that displays. Okay, so constructor. So I'm going to construct it. I'm going to construct it with just these. So I'm going to leave out the width because I'm going to calculate the width based on the text. That's irritating. Maybe I won't. Okay, never mind. All right, fair enough. And then I'll generate some getters and setters. All right, fine. That's good enough for me. All right, so let's go ahead and get some data files. So I think my class list, I'll just have just a file with one name per line. I'm going to paste in, oh, okay, hold on for a second. I'm going to go to my other project. I'm going to steal my file reader. There it is. And now let's make a new file with some test names in it. So let's do like block3.text. And now let's type in some actual names from my block3. Got to look it up. I guess let's do block 7. So refactor rename block 7. All right, so Nicholas, Archith, Hayden, Eleanor. Oh wait, this is my pre-calc. Hold on. What's block 5? Block 5. Okay, wait, let's go back to block 3. Okay. So Zeev, Kyle, Carmel, Connie, Itai, Roman, Vivek, Tall, Richard, Edgar, Rini, Nathan, Landon, Rishabh, Quentin. I wonder if that's how you spell Quentin's name. Jonathan, Rowie, Lon, Yuval, Yash, Vitya, Angad, Aryev, Jonathan, Toshi, Ia, Noam, Irina, Rajiv, Satvik, Adi, Ayush, Daniel. Okay. Cool. Oh, I did comma as well. I guess I don't actually want commas, but I guess maybe I'll just handle that when I read it. Excuse me. So here in settings, I guess I want array list of string for student names. And I'll just specify the path here. It would be nice if I could later on build in a thing where I could do it like within the application. So I'll do read file with the file path. For some reason I can't type string. All right. And we've got to handle the IO exceptions. But instead, I will just throw an exception myself. Can I not throw an exception? Oh, how irritating. All right. I guess that's okay. So I couldn't read the file. And I guess in that case, we'll do this. And then here I'll say student names. Oh. Okay, so let's finish writing the student names method. So I've read the file. Let's do lines equals file dot split on new line. Excuse me. Now I'm going to make my array list to return. Yeah, student names equals new array list. So now let's use a for each loop, string line lines, and I want to strip off everything that I don't really want. So let's do line.trim to start with, which will trim any extra space. And then line equals line.replace. I guess let's replace all. And I'm going to replace character class, so anything that's not A through Z, oops, or A through Z, or hyphen. And I'll replace that with empty string. Okay, so we'll probably, I'm not sure I'm using that regular expression correctly, so I'll probably have to debug that. So I'll have to do. Okay, but assuming that's correct, now the line should really contain a name, and so I can say student names dot add line, and then I will return student names. Okay, fair enough. So now that I have student names, I'll set up display boxes, and I want the display boxes. I guess we should set a font size. So in settings, let's say text size, yeah, so text size. I'm going to make this a constant, and I'll make it be 32 point. And I kind of forget. So I know I can get the text width for a particular thing, but I forget the text height. Here, let me look this up in processing. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to set the width and the height of my display boxes. So processing, I'm going to look up text width because I think it's going to link me to text height, text size, font. So I wonder text size. How can I find the text height? Let's try just searching for that directly. Oh, text height, it is a function. Oh, text ascent plus text descent. That is so irritating. Yeah, let's look at this one. Okay, so it looks like it's just ascent plus descent. Great. So let's do that. So I set the text size, I do the ascent and the descent, and then I've got, I'm going to just save this as text height. And this is going to be float text height. Great. Okay, so now that I've got student names, I'm going to try and generate boxes. So let's do int num, or num names per column. So this is going to be like when I display it, how many names will fit per column. And that's going to be a calculation that is casting to int of the actual height of the window, which I'm assuming is maybe height, and then divide it by text height. Let's do this. Float vertical buffer equals 10 pixels. So then box height. So box height equals text height plus vertical buffer. So now divided by box height is going to give me names per column. Okay. So now I guess let's num columns equals okay, so I'm trying to like set up a whole bunch of variables now that will help with the display. So num columns is going to be student names dot size divided by no, sorry, it's going to be divided by num names per column. and now I want to round that up. So we'll truncate it to int and then add 1. Okay, and so now column width is going to be the width of the display divided by the number of columns. Cool. So now we're ready to start filling columns. So let's loop over. So let's loop over all the student names. And I'm going to start with a row and a column. And so now I'm going to make a display box for the name. And the display box is going to have an x coordinate that is column times column width, and then row times box height. It's a little confusing. And the box width is going to be text width name and plus horizontal buffer. We'll define that in a second. And then the height is going to be box height. Great. And then we still need name, I guess. And then horizontal buffer I'll create. Not there. Will also be 10. Okay, so we've got a new display box, and then that's fine. We can cast all this stuff to int. Right, so we got the display box for a student. So now we've got to update all the things for the next student display box. So we'll say row plus plus, and then if row is greater than or equal to num names per column, right, then I'll sort of like reset to the next one. So row equals 0 and col plus plus. Okay, great. Oh, except the problem is I want to randomize it. That was the whole idea of the thing. Okay, so hold on. Let's do student or collections.shuffle student names. Cool. And now, so now that it's shuffled, I'll just do them in pairs. So box 1 and then box 2. And box 2 will be at the same x-coordinate. No, it's going to be at a different x-coordinate. It's going to be at column times column width maybe what I should have had for my display boxes, let's have the display boxes be actual pairs. Let's do this. While student names size is greater than 0. String name1 equals student names dot remove 0. If student names dot size is greater than 0, then 2 equals student names dot remove 0. Okay, so I'm going to get 2. Otherwise, name 2 equals nothing. All right. So now I've got 2 names. And I'll have it be name1 and the word and then the word name2. Come on, man. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. And so now I've got a display box, but it's like only one display box. And this is display name. This will be display name, and this will be display name. Okay, great. So now I'm really displaying in pairs. And I keep going until I'm done. Great. Okay, so now, so that should all be set up. And so now in draw, let's do this. For display box, students, and then box.draw with this. So I'm going to have the boxes draw themselves. No. So papplet window. Great. So window.rectangle x, y, width, height. But before I do that, no, after I do that, I'm going to have it display the text. And it's going to display at x plus, no, just at x, y, I guess. Oh, that's kind of irritating. Well, all right. This is likely to be a little bit ugly. So window.fill, window.stroke, and then window.fill. Okay, let's try it. Right, I need a main. Let's try again. Cool, divided by 0. Num names per column. Right, because why? Where do I set num names per column? Oh, up in there. All right, I guess time to debug. Oh, it's not even running settings. Is that because I've got the wrong core? Wow. Okay, let's try and get a different core. I'm looking for core version 3. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. All right, let's run it again. Cool, null pointer here. Oh, okay, so I guess, all right, so I guess all this stuff we can't do in settings because the papplet doesn't exist yet in settings. All right. So something is running, but we don't see anything. Cool. Let's stop here so that we can inspect some variables. Okay, so it's running. Students is size 0. All right, so that's helpful. Let's figure out why. Let's look at, let's stop at line 37, so that way we can see if we at least get a list of names. So student names is size 34, and those seem to have worked just fine, and the commas seem to have been removed, so that's good. Num names per column is 20. That looks good. Okay, so let's start stepping. Great. So I got Yuval. I got Yash. Oh, is it because I didn't? I see what the problem is. It's because I did not add the display box to my display boxes array list. Cool. Good work. All right. Let's try it again. All right. So this seems to be working okay. It's the display is a little wonky. So let's do background 255 there, so we'll display in white. Now the other thing I want to do is, what if a student is absent? Oh, my clever display approach is going to make it harder to figure out who's absent. I'm thinking about this. Because what I want to be able to do is I want it to be... Also, what's up here? Am I displaying somebody up here? I want to be able to click on a name. That name will disappear. And then I can press R to reshuffle everybody. Let me implement the R to reshuffle first. Boy, this is feeling kind of unclean. Okay, so public void key released. So if key is R or key is capital R, reshuffle. Okay, so what reshuffle is going to do... Oh, that's interesting, and I've like removed all the names from my original names list. That's kind of irritating. Okay, instead of removing them, let's loop over them in pairs. So names dot, what's it called? Student names dot size I plus equals 2. Then get I, and then if I plus 1 is less than student names dot size, then we will get I plus 1. Okay, so now we're getting them in pairs. Let me rerun it just to make sure that still works. The reason I did that is because I want to keep my original list of names intact. Okay, so that seems to have worked. So with my original names intact, so all of this is really about assigning names to the display box. So let's do, whoops, what did I just do? So let's cut all this starting here. And let's have let's say students equals assign partners from student names. Okay, that makes sense. Except now I will create an array list of display box. I'll just call out. All right, and so now I'll add this to out, and now I will return out. Okay, so that's a little bit cleaner. Maybe it doesn't matter. So reshuffling, what I really want to do, I don't want to base it on the original list of names. I want to base it on the names that were left over. All right, so maybe what I actually want to do, let's change how display box works. Rather than a text string, I'll have a name1 and a name2. Because this is going to eventually let me figure out, like this is going to let me swap out names more easily and figure out who's being clicked on. So my get text is going to be sort of like a toString. I'm going to return name1 and then the word and then the word name2. Very nice. Glad I used a getter method. Oh. should have been glad I used a getter method. Okay. Let's make sure these changes. Oh, wait. So this is still broken over here because now instead of display name, now I don't need display name. Now I'm just going to pass in name1 and name2. And then, oh. So I'm just going to have a fixed, let's have a fixed width of 100. Let's have a fixed width of 300. And if we want to later, I could say box set width from contents. So it would like reset its own width based on its own contents. But let's just look at this the way it is now. Okay, so that seems fine. I think let's add a buffer at the top. So yes. So let's create a buffer at the top that's like length 80. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Very nice. But what that means is that this has got to be height minus top buff. Okay. So what was I in the process of doing? Right, reshuffling. Okay, so reshuffling, I guess what I'm going to do is this is like kind of inefficient, but I guess let's do this. Array list string. Yeah, this feels ugly. So I'm going to like get names from all the display boxes. And then I'm just going to reconstruct the display boxes from the names. Yuck. Yeah, let's just do it. Okay, so okay, so names.add box dot or one doesn't equal null and n1 dot length is greater than 0, then names dot add n1, and then same thing for n2. N2. Let's create these methods. Create this method. Okay, cool. And now we will return names. Okay, so I got the names from the students, and now I can just say assign partners from the names all over again. Great. So let's make sure we can reshuffle now. That appears to be doing exactly nothing. Cool. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm actually detecting the key presses. It is detecting the key presses. Oh. Yeah, wait, what? Assign partners, student names. Okay. Seems okay. All right. Set a breakpoint. All right, I'm going to press R now. It is paused. Right, so we've got all these pairs. Cool, let's take one step. Okay, so we still have 34 names, so that appears to have worked. Arnab and Aryav. So now let's take one more step. Oh, because I didn't reshuffle it. Ha. Okay. Oh. All right. Great. That seems to be doing okay. All right, so now let's figure out how to make it so that if I click on somebody, they will disappear. So display box. I'm thinking about highlighting the names. No, screw that. We don't need that. Okay, let's just, so public boolean is mouse over. So let's do mouse x mouse y. So I'll return if mouse x is larger than my x coordinate and mouse x is less than x plus width, and mouse y is larger than the y coordinate, and less than y plus height. Great. Okay, so let's make a handle mouse click method. So what happens if they click at mouse x, mouse y? If the mouse isn't over our object and we've like run on the wrong thing, we'll exit right away. Otherwise, we'll figure out which name it's clicked on and remove it. So let's figure that out. So name1 width equals, oh, I need a p-applet. Okay. Okay, so window dot text width of name1 is a float, I guess. So now, if mouse x is less than x plus name1 width, then this dot remove name1. Okay. Now name2 float n2 width equals window dot text width name2. So if mouse x, no, mouse x would have to be greater than this. Nope, mouse x would have to be less than that because that's the left-hand side of the window. So that's like, yeah, okay. So if mouse x is larger than x plus width, which is the right-hand side, minus n2 width, that makes sense, then this dot remove name2. Okay, let's try it. Feels like a little hacky. It makes me feel like my underlying data structure is wrong. Okay, so first let's try clicking. Oh wait, of course I'm not handling clicks yet. So public void mouse released. So now for display box students box dot handle mouse click mouse x mouse y, and then this. Oh, except my hold on, so this isn't going to work. So for the right hand side, it can't be x plus width, it's got to be text, like the full text width of this dot get text, because that's what actually displays. Okay. Now let's run it again. Okay, so if I click like way outside, hopefully nothing's happening. Great. Let's remove Irina. So that's not good. Let's remove Quentin. Okay, that didn't do anything at all. Oh, it did. Okay, but the question is, why does it not So you couldn't see my testing because it was off screen. But why did the changes not get reflected immediately? Let's do this. Okay, so it's not, oh, it did, all right, so it removed a D. But why did it remove a D when I'm way down there? That's weird. Let's do this for the is mouse over. Public void highlight. And so what highlight is going to do, I want a visual way of seeing what's happening. So window dot rectangle xy width height, except I'm going to set window dot fill to be, I forget what transparent is, maybe that. We'll find out in a minute. And then stroke is going to be red, green, blue. No, red, green, blue. Okay, so now let's go back to main. So I think I'm just going to have this inside draw all the time. So if box dot is mouse over mouse x mouse y, then box dot highlight. Okay, so I'll be able to see what I'm over, hopefully. All right, so that's like interesting. So that's like sort of right. So this should be arena, but it said, oh, it was the one above arena. A D, but that's arena. Interesting. So it's like I'm off by one almost. So what's going on there? Let's look at display box. Where am I displaying the text? I'm displaying it at XY. So what the heck? Oh, I wonder if text, let's do this, window.align. Window.left. Window.top. Does that make sense? What's it called? Window dot text align. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so that's looking a little bit more like what I expected. Great, Arnab, Aryev, Rini, D. And then if I reshuffle, great. Okay, I think that's what I wanted. Excellent. All right, I think that's as good as I want it to be.